Welcome to another dojo topic. Hey, if you've ever felt like if I just try harder, if I just insist a little bit more on what I want, that's ever come up for you, you're in the right place today. Today's dojo was off the charts. And I know I say that a lot, but it really was today. And so I'm going to share my screen with you so that I can welcome you to the dojo where we meet live virtually every Tuesday. You're welcome to join us live and be part of the conversation. And if you can't join us live, I'm so happy you're here watching the video topic that we discussed today. So, with that, I'm going to tell you last week we talked about unity consciousness. That was another really great topic that we had a lot of really wonderful conversation around. So, if you missed that or were unable to join us live and haven't seen the video yet, I will put a link to that video at the end of this video. But today we are talking about insistence versus persistence. Now, insistence versus persistence. How to tell the difference and align with your true power. Many spiritually awakened women unknowingly operate from insistence, a forceful, fear-based mindset rooted in control, scarcity, and the need to prove something. Can you relate to this? Like, have you ever found yourself saying, oh, I can just prove that I can get this done, or I don't feel like I've got everything that I need. That's scarcity. If you feel like you need to prove something, you're trying to be in control. If you're not able to, or open to delegating or allowing others to do things, you just like, oh, no, I just have to do it myself. I have to figure this out. That's where you're rooted into control and you're trying to prove something. So that's where you're in insistence versus persistence. So, the kind of energy that stems from limiting beliefs and old programming. Insistence, that's what insistence is. It's keeping you stuck in resistance rather than flow. We want our lives to flow. We want everything to be easy and effortless because that's the way life is meant to be for us. Now, in contrast, persistence is a soul-aligned, heart-centered commitment to your purpose. It's the calm, steady energy of showing up with inspired action, trust, and emotional resilience, even when things feel uncertain. So, what are you really passionate about? When you can act upon your passion in any given moment and take it as far as you can without any insistence to the outcome, now that's trust, isn't it? That's trust. And now think about that. If you are pursuing that thing that makes you the happiest, your passion, you're always happy, you're always excited. Now, how difficult is it for you to really think about your life flowing that way? I mean, are you insistent that there's got to be struggle, or are you persistently trusting? That's a really great thing to ask yourself right now. It's a really great question to ask yourself. And you can identify where insistence is showing up in your life and sabotaging your desires by replacing forceful striving with empowered persistence and aligning with your inner passion and authentic motivation by recognizing fear-based beliefs versus purpose-driven action, by embracing your feminine power and spiritual flow without over-efforting. This is a powerful reset for any woman who is ready to stop pushing from fear and start creating from alignment. Let's shift from resistance to resonance with persistence and power. Fear creates insistence. Insistence delays desire. So try softer, not harder. Try softer. We talked about trying softer instead of harder several topics ago. You might want to go back and look at that. But when you are in flow, you're trying softer. Life is easy. Life flows with ease. Isn't that a peaceful place to be if you just think about it? Instead of detaching from the desire, detach from the fear. Fear isn't real. You know this to be true because all evidence of the contrary has never proven to be true. Let's look at some spiritually grounded examples showing the energetic difference between persistence and insistence when it comes to manifesting your desires. So first, we're going to talk about manifesting love. Insistence says, I have to meet my soulmate this year or I'll be alone forever. And because of that, you feel anxious. You're constantly checking your dating apps. You're looking on your phone. You're waiting for a text. You're wondering why he or she didn't return your call or your text. You're wondering why things aren't going the way you want it to go. And you try to force connections. You may even settle for less out of fear. And this is all rooted in lack, urgency, and control. On the other hand, when you are persistent, when you're in persistence, you're open to divine timing. You align with vibration of love every day. Think about that. What does that feel like? Love for love's sakes. You desire to love instead of seeking love. You consistently do your inner work, open your heart, and trust that the right person will appear as you stay aligned with that feeling, emotion of love. If this is rooted in trust, patience, and energetic readiness. How about manifesting money or abundance? Ooh, how does that work for you? What do you think about that? What does insistence look like? I must make 10K this month or I'm failing. You have to hustle, push through burnout, and worry if things aren't moving fast enough. You focus on outcomes, not energy. You're driven by fear of not being enough or not having enough. Whereas persistence looks like I'll show up for my mission every day, knowing that abundance flows to me when I stay aligned with it. You take inspired action. You're not doing just to do something. You're actually taking inspired action. But that means that you have to allow yourself to be inspired, to feel inspired. Where does that come from? That comes from your higher self. That's where inspiration comes from. So you keep your mindset high and stay in the vibration of worthiness, even if the money hasn't shown up yet. And because of this, you're driven by faith, alignment, and co-creation. How about insistence on manifesting healing or personal transformation? Is there something that you're going through right now where you are looking for a healing mentally or physically or spiritually, or some kind of personal transformation? Insistence looks like, I need to be healed now. I've done all the work already. Come on. What are you doing, universe? Why are you waiting? You judge yourself for not being farther along and try to force healing through more efforting, more books, more workshops. You're like, oh, if I could just join one more group, maybe I'll find the perfect group on social media and I'll get the answers there or find the clients there. This is all based on shame, frustration, and impatience. But when you're in persistence, you think about, I honor my healing journey as sacred and unfolding perfectly. You continue to nurture your growth with compassion, trusting that every layer released is a step closer to wholeness. This is based in love, surrender, and devotion. How about manifesting a soul-aligned career or purpose? Insistence looks like, oh, this launch doesn't succeed. Maybe I'm just not cut out for this. You measure your worth by external success, trying to manipulate outcomes and comparing yourself to others. This comes from ego, fear of failure, and pressure. However, persistence looks like, I'm committed to my calling, and I trust that every step is preparing me for expansion. You show up consistently, evolve, listen to divine guidance, and allow your purpose to unfold in right timing. This comes from the soul, faith, and dedication. Bottom line, insistence comes from fear and creates resistance. Persistence comes from faith and creates flow. But remember, there is contrast to everything. Your life will always be what you insist it is. If you insist there is something wrong, there will be something wrong. If you insist there is no money, there will be no money. If you insist on suffering, you will suffer. Keep reminding yourself that has nothing to do with the money or suffering. Your state of being is about loving who you are and remembering everything you forgot about who you are. Until you feel it so strongly within you, you will persist in the knowing that nothing could ever cause you to suffer unless you insist it's so. I can wish you would consider joining us weekly at the dojo, where we meet every Tuesday. We create a morphogenic field for the awakened woman. We have conversations about these types of topics, and I invite you to join us live if you can. If not, I'm so happy you're here. I'm so happy you found this video, that you've attracted this message to you. And I would really love for you to leave some comments. Let me know what came up for you when you were thinking about insistence versus persistence. Did you notice any of the examples coming up in your life? You notice any similarities? If you want any kind of support with this type of work, visit me at masteringyourbeliefs.com. In the meantime, this is Nancy Muller, the one and only Life Sensei, saying ciao for now.